anyone available to go with the presentation right now? Sabarudin, are you there? Sabarudin.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Can you start your presentation right now?
Okay. Can you see my slide, doctor? Professor?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, can I start now?
Yeah, sure. Let's see.
Good morning, doctors, Professor Loh, and the Professor students and the Virus. I'm Sabarudin Kadir. Would like to from DPN student. My topic is about the public water operators water loss. The strategies for reducing non-revenue water. Okay. Non-revenue water is a critical issue in water industry. As water loss category are seen as a threat to water security and efficiency supplying fresh water to residents. Because the highest non-revenue water in Malaysia is 30.4% in data in 2011. So in the table 1 about the 10 years non-revenue water percentage 2008 to 2007. By the way, only 20% non-revenue water is the benchmark standard of international water acquisition. To minimize non-revenue water is a priority for water security. Non-revenue NRW level demonstrating only 2.8 reduction within past 10 years, with the higher NRW level, so water service management fully managed by water operators. And this sources is from the Water Service Management Commission in Malaysia or Japan. In reducing NRW, develop understanding a big picture water system is about the water balance. This process helps utility managers understand the magnitude, the sources, the cost of NRW. Water balance used to calculate component and determine water losses occurring, and water balance also water balance percentage. Water balance percentage can be divided into 3 components: the loss because of pipe leakage, apparent loss of unfilled authorized consumption, unlimited because of unlimited and limited consumption. NRW component are from the water treatment plants customer meters. NRW is equal to total amount of water flowing into water supply network from water treatment plants. System overuse of this is total amount water that industry domestic consumer use by the authorized consumption. This is the approach by I believe water balance top down. We must step 1 is determine the system input first, and then go to the estimate the authorized consumption, then estimate the apparent loss and real losses. My area to study is about the real losses. How to focus on the non-revenue water. This is non-revenue water is about and I focus on because the percent of the losses from the real losses of water. My statement is NRW is a global problem requiring management strategy to reduce water losses will result in improved water supply and quality. That's what World Bank in 2006, 30% water NRW water production in European countries, which is 45 million water for 600 million users, were lost daily through water leakage in the water distribution system, as mentioned by Lipa and Merritt. Developed countries have solid infrastructure and service operational practice for managing and controlling NRW, but as they are challenged in reducing NRW because the aging this literature review, Malaysia is abundant of water resources, as cited by Abdullah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay, my literature review is about the Malaysia is abundant of water resources, as cited by Abdullah Muhammad. However, Malaysia still facing the water distribution issues. Water production from water treatment plants are not fully utilized for consumption because of high NRW percentage, about 40%. Water losses is a difference with the supply water quality from water treatment plant as compared to bilateralized consumption to the users. Development countries having facing water issue that is high level of NRW, based on the World Bank in 2006, 35% NRW water production in the operating countries, 45 million cubic meters for 2,000 million users were lost due to water leakage in the water distribution system, as reported by Singham and Merit. One of the most challenging tasks is facing by water services in essence to account a high rate loss of water in the water distribution system. Water loss, in fact, is the water that cannot be fixed at a reasonable rate. NRW also has the differences of total water production output supplying to the system input as compared to legal users. Highest NRW limited 4.9 million ringgit review losses as reported by National Water Research Management Commission, as cited by Malaysian Association of Waters and Energy Research in 2012. IWA proposes four methods leakage management, active leakage control, pipeline and asset management, speed and quality of repairs, and pressure management. Analysis of water losses in distribution system on basis of IWA balance should be integral part of management and should proceed decision in on repairing or modernizing water network. This my summary of the review on the reducing review water. My hypothesis development domain is water X1 water losses not influence non-revenue water in water system network. H2 hypothesis 2 is prevention leakage and control water pressure project are not mediating effect for reducing NRW in water distribution network. H3 is leak detection sensor is not moderating effect for reducing NRW in water distribution network. My proposed theoretical framework is water losses is water losses is as independent variable and the prevention, leakage and control water pressure is mediating variable, and non-residual water is dependent variable. Leakage sensors is moderating variable. My methodology is by recruitment reviews, which is published report and related manual provided with the reject water audit assessment will also be reviewed. Recruitment from SPAN and the Public Water Utilities Companies about strategy framework plan and detailed process of work conduct. And using multiple relation analysis metrics using data software procedure for calculating NRW ratio using the main parameter of the water system, and this is by using the secondary data. Okay, national NRW reducing strategy is awareness, where I will create awareness where is the location, repair time to minimize water losses. The successful leakage management strategy require pressure management, active leakage control, pipeline and asset management, and speedy and high quality repairs. Equipment cost monitoring flows in and out into zone like a district meter area and leak detection sensor. DMA also have to manage pressure, improve water quality, enable continuous water supply. This is the model of DMA. My limitation is availability of data relying on water pressure and spend annual report. This is all I think my presentation. For now, I back to Professor and Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabarudin.
Yes.
Dr. Farouk, would you like to start your comment?
Okay, thanks Prof. Sabarudin.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, yeah, but there are a few questions from me that need your clarification.
Yes.
When I read the title of your research, Leak Management of Public Utilities of Non-Revenue Water Reduction Strategy, I'm not clear about the leak management. What do you mean by the leak management and relate to the non-revenue water reduction strategy?
Actually, yes, Doctor, I'm sorry because I just changed my topic to public water operators, water losses, but focus on strategies for reducing non-revenue water. Focus at the Malaysia.
Okay, so this is a new title. It's not like what is in my hand at the moment. Okay. At the end of the
This new
day,
title is also a problem.
Yes, Doctor?
This new title is also very broad.
My topic now.
yeah, I also feel that this topic is very broad because my next question is, what are you trying to suggest or to prove at the end of your research? Are you trying to suggest something, the strategy that should be take to reduce the problem, or are you trying to suggest that the current strategy is not efficient? Because of, if you go back to your hypothesis, could you please go back to your hypothesis? Okay, number one, water loss not influence non-revenue water in water distribution network. Water loss not influence non-revenue water in water distribution, number one. Prevention leakage and control water pressure projects are not mediated effect or existing NRW in water distribution network. Leak detection sensor is not moderating effect. This hypothesis for me is like trying to prove something. Like you try to prove the current strategy is not effective and not efficient. That is my impression. Or at the end of the day, you expect to find some strategies to overcome the problem of this non-revenue water. Which one? It's not clear to me, Sabarudin.
Okay, Doctor. Based on my theoretical problem, I want to make clear that by whether water losses as a IV have a correlation with the non-revenue water. I just focus by the multiple regression analysis have a correlation effect. So by this the first time I think there's no studies about multiple regression analysis by other and I think I study in Malaysia by using this procedure. Whether prevention leakage and control water or other sciences is mean that the morality is very effective. But I just want to make it clear any clarity, any correlation about the IV and DV.
I think I agree with what Dr. Fairuz point just now. If you go back to your diagram, Sabarudin, it is still not clear. The hypotheses are very poorly stated, and if you look at the way you state your hypothesis, and also if you look at this theoretical framework, I don't think this is a theoretical framework. The way you state your hypothesis, I don't see any scholarly voice here. Put it this way, your research is lacking the scholarly voice.
Oh, 我说它有个设置，可以看你的，有个设置。
Can you please? So we understand, you are a DBA student in your first semester, it might take longer for you to actually understand what an academic work is. But based on your existing research, I don't see some scholarly element in it. Maybe this is what you plan, you have interest in, what you want to do. But it looks as though like this is more of an applied research with some application of some literature, because applied research also requires literature review. But the way you state your hypothesis, the way you formulate that framework, it looks to me it is more of an applied research rather than an academic research. Can you go to the next slide? And also the methodology that you want to use. Next slide, Sabarudin. Document reviews. This is not acceptable. And your document review comes from published report and related manuals provided by this water audit checklist assessment. All these are not an acceptable references for academic research. So your work is very far off from academic research. And I do not know in what way this topic falls into the area of finance. What are the financial, you have taken courses in finance, right? You are BA in your first semester. So by now you should have completed your finance-related courses. I couldn't see any finance-related terms of terminology here, none at all. So I'm not sure in what way your work actually falls into the area of finance.
Because this I want to just clarify that about the collection by the public collection, because the water leaking is mean that money also cannot collect by the public utilities. So NW is very important. So because 50% of the loss, water loss, because of not collection and because of water losses also. So
this is okay to be used because for academic research, academic research needs to be backed up by academic work. Meaning to say, whatever that you want to investigate, there must be an academic of that work that you plan to do. But if let's say in addition to the academic backing, you are able to bring in some practical evidence. For example, this one, I see this as a practical evidence to highlight the importance of your study. This one you have it, Sabarudin. You have the anecdotal evidence to support the importance of your study. So what is lacking here is the empirical backing, because your thesis will be an academic thesis. You are not working on a practical research. You are not working on an industry-based research. You are working on academic research. So you have to understand that. So for academic research, having a practical evidence to back up the importance of pursuing that research, it is actually very good. It's a very good point, because many students will not be able to find some practical importance to support their topic. So in your case, you have that data to support you. But what is lacking here in your proposal or in your proposed research is the academic side. So maybe you need to work on it, right? Because your methodology cannot be a document review. And document review, it comes from all these. If you turn to the next slide, look at the document review. Those are not the next slide. Next slide. Those are not academic papers. They cannot be your document review. So I understand your point. You have a very valid and good reason of the importance of your topic, but you need to think further. How to put it in the academic context. How to do that? Meaning to say you need to search for those research that study on water loss. So let's look at your references. See what kind of references that you are referring to. Let's look at your references. References. Can you display? It's too small. I cannot see. Can you put in the presentation slide? Oh, Sabarudin, yes.
Yeah, I'm getting my proposal. Is it? Could I transfer to bank management? Because I think management is very suit for my about the railway water.
Yes, you can. But now you have already taken all the courses in finance. Is that correct, Sabarudin?
Yeah, only one subject. Could I proceed to management or how long?
Okay, why don't you talk to this the head of research program? So it's Dr. Azmi Arifin. Why don't you write to him of your intention and ask advice from him? Say that you want to transfer to management. So you may have to, since you are a DBA student, so I think you will have to take the courses again. The first semester, yeah. Start everything all over.
That's presented. Okay, Doctor. Professor, thank you, Doctor. Professor.
Anything else? If not, then we will end the colloquium session for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just give a general comment to all the students who are in this group at the moment? I managed to listen to a couple of presentations before I have to leave to attend another meeting. Overall, I believe, given that many of them are in their first semester, many have shown promising work, which I believe under proper guidance they would be able to fine-tune their research. However, my concern still lies in a couple of main issues. Number one, I still found many students fail or did not effectively demonstrate the connection between the central issues as well as the theoretical foundation. This, I believe, would be very, very difficult for them later when they want to develop their research framework as well as their hypothesis. So if I can advise everyone who are here this afternoon, please go back and revisit your central theme for your research. What is it that you are investigating? If you just use Malaysia or China or Pakistan, that is contextual. That is just examining the issue at the context level or at the sampling level. But at the end of the day, you still need to find the central theme of your work. And then how is it being backed by the theoretical foundation? I found for first semester students, many of them are still grappling in this area. Number two, I agree with Prof. Lau early in the morning when she mentioned about the importance of identifying our accessibility to data or availability of data. I know a friend who did a wonderful work up until research design on bond market in Malaysia. Eventually, he discovered that there's no active market for bond in Malaysia, and basically all his work for chapter 1 to chapter 3 just went down the drain because he failed to look into the availability of data. For that, again, I would love to see students start looking into data that they will need to use for the study. Now, going back to Helmi's case, I